Hey everyone, we will give some folks just a minute or so to make their way into the Zoom room, and then we will get started. But welcome to the Summer and Fall Transition webinar for all global scholars and London scholars who are completing their first year. Excited to chat with you all in just a minute. Hey folks, just another reminder that we're waiting for folks to make their way into the room. I see it ticking up, so don't want to start until at least we get a bit of quorum. But we'll probably start in just a minute, just knowing that we only have about an hour together. All right, well, I'm gonna slow roll into the presentation. For folks who don't know me, I'm Dr. Shannon Fairley Pittman, Director of the Global Scholars Program and London Scholars Program. On behalf of the team, we're so excited that you all have made it through your first year at Northeastern, but also through these programs. And so I know that you all have had wonderful time engaging in our campuses in Oakland, London, and in Boston. And we look forward to seeing some of you who are coming to spend some time with us here in Boston this summer for summer classes. I am joined today by my colleagues who they will come on the screen as their information is presented, but they are representative of the advising team in Boston, representative of our Office of Global Services. So for folks who need support around immigration standards, and then a representative of our orientation office in Boston. So this webinar is about your transition from your current location and also from the program to the NU Boston campus in your second year, but also starting with some things that will happen through the summer as well. For folks who have not done a Zoom call with us before, which I don't know how, but if you are first time here, we do have a way for you to be able to chat with us. So if you have questions, at the bottom of your screen, you should be able to see a Q&A box. That's how you'll be able to ask us questions. And we have some members of our team from the Global Network team who are here to help answer your questions or direct you appropriately. But I'm hopeful that you will just sit back and enjoy this presentation from our colleagues in the three departments. We are recording this presentation, so all of you will receive an email next week with this recording. It will also have the link to the presentation so that if you need links from the presentation, it will be linked there. And this will also be on our website, the Global Scholars and London Scholars website. So you will have tons of ways to have access to this information. So I'm hopeful that you're just going to sit back and enjoy this information. And then hopefully you'll be supported through this transition. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Allison Ottaviano, who's going to speak about the advising information from our colleges.
Thank you, Shannon. Welcome, everyone. My name is Allison Ottaviano, and I'm the Director of Global Undergraduate Academic Advising. What I do is really work between all of the different advising units on our undergraduate campuses. So I work closely with the London team, advising team, the Oakland advising team, and the advising team here in Boston. So I want to go over information that was provided to us by your home colleges. So what this information is going to cover is really everything from them working with you through their visits or emails in the past month or two through the summer and into the fall. So I just want to I just want to give everyone a quick reminder. Last week you received an email with a lot of really important information, and some of that information was pertaining to fall registration, which, as you all know, or I hope you all know, is occurring this week. So in that information, in that email, there's information about how your home college that you're transitioning to on the Boston campus has performed outreach to you. So please refer to that email, which may refer you back to other emails from your college if you have any questions about fall courses. I also want to encourage you all to work with your on-site campus advisors. So for students still in London, work with the London team. With students in Oakland, work with the Oakland team. And for students in Boston, work with your Boston advisor. We want you to utilize the on-ground advising services that are available to you as you're navigating your fall course registration, but also refer to information that has been given to you by your colleges. So with that, I'm going to go through each college individually just to kind of talk about how this transition is going to work as far as advising is concerned. As you'll notice, every college does it a little bit differently, and there's different points of contact and different times for handoff. And so this is going to pertain to your home college. So if you're in a combined major that goes across two colleges, you're going to want to pay careful attention to the information of your home college. So that's the college that you intend to be housed in as you're navigating your major or combined major. So I believe we're doing this alphabetically. So we're going to start with the Bouvet College of Health Sciences. So many of you have likely heard from the Assistant Director of Network Advising and Special Programs, Lance Faria, and he would have sent you information about classes. I know he did several webinars on registering for your next semester classes and gave students suggestions. So please refer to the correspondence from Lance to see what course suggestions he may have for you for the fall semester if you do have any questions. So as you're ending this semester and moving into the summer and fall, they're going to be sending out an email to students informing you of who your advisor is. Your advisor is likely not going to be Lance Faria. It's going to be a different advisor based off of your major. And you'll have the opportunity to connect with your advisor over the summer to go over your fall 2024 schedule and start talking about long-term planning. So that is going to happen late May and early June. And then in the summer, you'll be doing a lot of kind of meeting and reviewing of coursework. So you'll have to wait until May and early June to have your advisor assigned. But once that advisor is assigned, they'll be reaching out to you and you can have virtual or in-person meetings if you're on ground with that advisor. So that is how you'll be connecting with advising if you are a student in the Bouvet College of Health Sciences. So for the College of Engineering, for Global London Scholars, I mentioned this before, but summer planning advising meetings happened in February. And then was several curriculum planning webinars in March to think about your upcoming semesters. The College of Engineering has a really helpful SharePoint site, which is linked here, which gives students a lot of really great information on planning, registration, the structure of the program, what courses you should be looking into based off of your specialization with engineering. So I definitely encourage any College of Engineering student to refer to this SharePoint site. It's very helpful. I've gone through it myself. And they want to ensure that you're prepared to register for your classes this week. And then in May, you'll be invited to schedule a virtual meeting with your assigned engineering academic advisor. The advisors definitely vary by area of interest within engineering, so you'll receive notification of who that person is and an opportunity to meet with them to go over your fall registrations and then talk about planning moving forward and making any adjustments to your schedule. Next slide. So the College of Arts, Media, and Design is working with students on registering them for their fall classes. So Shayna Sellinger, the Assistant Director of Advising, has been in touch with students housed in the College of Arts, Media, and Design about fall registration. and they will be actually registering students for their fall classes, but want to let students know that they can reach out to Shayna directly if any adjustments need to be made. You can definitely, once your schedule is in place, you can definitely go in and make modifications. I would encourage you to reach out to Shayna if you do have any questions about those modifications, just to make sure that you're in the appropriate classes. And then, similar to the other colleges, in late May or early June, you'll be receiving outreach from your assigned advisor within the College of Arts, Media and Design, who may or may not be Shayna Selinger, and they will be scheduling virtual appointments with you to review your fall schedule and kind of talk about your upcoming summer and fall semesters. Next slide. So the Damore McKim School of Business has been in touch with students regarding their summer classes. Robin Cohen, whose contact information is on the slide, has been in touch with all of our Global and London scholars. So definitely be on the lookout in your email for any information from her. She did several site visits to all sites, and has sent out several PowerPoints with information for students about fall registration. So again, if you have any questions about fall registration, definitely look for emails in your inbox from Robin Cohen, because there'll be some really important information or helpful information about fall classes from her. So you should have received this in late March. So definitely, again, and check your emails for emails from Robin in late March. So pretty much at the end of the semester through August, students are going to be able to meet with advising to talk about their fall schedule, if any adjustments need to be made, if there's any questions. And they're also going to be assigning co-op cycles to students with additional instructions. Some students might have some questions about their co-op cycles, and this information should be coming out shortly along with instructions. And then in late August, early September, before the fall semester starts, students will be assigned their advisor within the college, within DMSB. So you'll receive a welcome email from them, as well as information about how to get in touch with them. And then as the semester starts, they're going to be working with you. Your assigned advisor is going to be working with you on long-term planning. So at that time, you'll be thinking about how your co-op cycle impacts your planning, what classes to take in the future, and so on. So for now, if you have any questions about your fall classes or summer classes, definitely reach out to Robin Cohen, whose information is here on the slide. Next slide, please. If you're part of the Explore program, so students who are exploring their major and aren't in a specific college, you're working with the Explore program. Each site has an advisor that works specifically with them. So you should have received outreach from either the Explore team on the Boston campus, if you're on the Boston campus, or Eve Platt, if you're in London, or Anthony Amador, if you're in Oakland. So you should have received outreach from one of these three people or units to talk about fall classes, to think about how you want to be continuing to explore your major, if you want to declare your major, and so on. And the hope is that you have had those conversations and those meetings prior to this week. You're going to be assigned a Boston-based Explore program advisor on May 17th. And at that point, you will be working with that advisor, your Boston-based advisor, to expand on these conversations that you may have had already with Anthony and Eve about your exploration, and to make modifications to your fall schedule, as well as learn a bit more about the Explore program in Boston, a lot of their events that they hold over the fall. So mid-May, be on the lookout for an email from the Explore program telling you who your advisor is and scheduling a virtual meeting with them to discuss your continued exploration. Next slide. The College of Social Sciences and Humanities has a Global Scholars team made up of Alan and Justin, and their contact information is at the bottom of the screen. They have been in touch with students about their fall courses. So if you haven't heard from them, or you don't think you've heard from them, definitely take a look and see if they have any suggestions for you. You can also reach out to them directly. So they're the ones who are going to be kind of helping students out in any questions they have about fall registration in tandem with the London and Oakland teams. And then in May and June, you're going to receive an email from them letting you know who your assigned advisor is based off of your major and program. And at that time, you'll review summer registration, if that's applicable, as well as fall registration. And then once the fall rolls around, you'll be meeting with them in person and talking about long-term planning. So for any questions about students in the College of Social Science and Humanities, you can reach out to Alan or Justin. Next slide. Finally, the Corey College of Computer Science. Just a reminder, you'll be registering yourself for your fall 2024 classes. Emails have gone out from Corey in mid-March with suggested courses for the fall, and that's taking into account your fall and spring enrollments, as well as any AP, IB, or transfer credit you might have. Those emails would have either come from Corey Advising or Julie Van, so definitely take a look in your email for that. There's also a worksheet that will kind of show you where there's maybe space, where you have a little bit more flexibility in your schedule, whether that be new path or general electives. And there's also a Canvas page that everyone's been added to, which has really helpful information about being a Corey student, resources, a lot of information about majors and classes. And this Canvas page is really helpful in assisting you with your transition. You should have also received emails to chat with your Corey advisor, and you'll be assigned a Corey advisor on the Boston campus in May and June, and you'll work with them through the orientation process, reviewing your fall classes, and so on. So that is it for me. Any questions about any of the colleges, feel free to put them in the Q&A and I'll do my best to answer them.
Thank you so much, Allison. Very helpful information. And yes, just to reiterate, an email went out to all of you last week per your college and per program with information about this. So please do refer to that email for information. But thank you all. Thank you, Allison, so much for this, for your time. We're going to move through to, oh, actually, Allison, I think you have one more. Apologize.
I'm sorry about that. Yes, we still have the College of Science. My apologies to the College of Science and all students housed in the College of Science. Thank you, Shannon. So the College of Science has been in touch with all students regarding summer and fall classes. Please refer to your email for emails from COS Advising at northeastern.edu. They have a lot of really helpful information that they would have sent you, recordings of workshops that they've had. They're really great at sending out worksheets to students with course suggestions. And they've also been in touch with students with virtual drop-ins for fall 2024 registration. So they're very actively participating with you. If you haven't been in touch with them, please feel free to email COS Advising, but definitely check your email for emails from that address for helpful information on fall courses and other recordings about your program and registration.
Awesome. All right. I think, yes. Now you're off the hook, Allison. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
And now I'm going to ask my colleague, Jiskar Devanshi, to come on screen. He works within the Office of Global Services and supports our students who are working through the immigration standards. So I'll turn it over to you, Jiskar.
Thank you. Yes, happy to be here and happy to speak with all of you in terms of the next steps for fall transition for all of our international students who are on a F1 visa. We'll go through the nuances of what to expect and kind of what our office does as well if you are unfamiliar, and go from there. Next slide, please. So yes, as a quick recap, Office of Global Services, we do many things for our international students on campus, but as you'd imagine, we are here kind of as the primary resource for monitoring and assistance with maintenance of status for students on an F1 visa and supporting students on other visas as well to make sure everything is accurately reported in our systems for your time inside the US. Okay, so for housekeeping first, everything I'll be talking about today specifically, as I mentioned, for international students on F1 status. So if you are a US citizen, this does not pertain to you. If you are a permanent resident or studying on another visa type that allows you to study, you are required to do something called the data form that we have linked on the slide here. If you've done it previously, say in the fall or this term, you are cleared. It's only needed once to kind of capture that information for our system. Likewise, if you are, everything we're talking about is really just for the fall transition. So anything related to summer, we had a session earlier this term in February for a debrief of what to expect for summer and summer transitioning for that timeline, as well as information being sent out through email in early March. So if you are worried about summer, have summer questions, we can talk about that, of course, separately, but this session really is for the fall transition on our end here. So with that said, on this slide here, ultimately speaking, you are at the end of your timeline now for this term. So we want to make sure you are very much aware of what to expect for the next step so you can actually move forward to have your I-20 adjusted for the transition from your timeline here into the next time for this fall. So for students in the Global Scholars Program who already have an I-20 and have an F1 visa, we do have a process called the change of degree level I-20, where you'll be transitioning from your current non-degree program into your degree seeking program for fall onward. And that process will be covering the entirety of that. For the London Scholars, you would have to do the pre-arrival I-20 request, ultimately capturing the timeline for you to begin your program, to enter the US for the first time in this program length, and to continue onward to move forward. So the two links are there. You get that later, of course, through the document as you receive them after the session, but you would want to begin those two processes, which we'll talk about in more detail on the next slides. Okay, so to prep for the I-20 request itself, what do you need prior to getting to that step? Firstly, you need a copy of your unexpired passport. So ultimately, that would mean a passport that expires 6 months into the future or more from the start term that you would begin in your program. So this would be potentially summer for some of you, or for fall for the majority of you. Likewise, we'd also need to see copies of financial documentation to showcase that you are able to cover the program for that 1 year length of time. That is the requirement for our immigration standard to issue an I-20 for you, is covering 1 year or 1 academic year of study. So on that document, you would have to showcase that funds are liquid in nature. So if you have something like a checkings or a savings or something like a money market account, however it is, there's many types that are available, but ultimately speaking, liquid is the thing that we're looking for to make sure that has to be captured somewhere, either by the funding type itself or specified on the letter itself. Likewise, has to be issued 1 year from the term start date. So if you're starting, for instance, in the fall for September, we would need something issued from September 2023 or onward to be valid for this review. Funds don't need to be frozen or have any maturity. Any funding that we have captured after September 2023 is valid. But if your funding is in a different funding besides USD, we do recommend you to submit a currency converter to showcase that your funding doesn't meet the criteria of requirement for us to issue you an I-20. We do have a link here as well to showcase a reminder of what to expect for the entirety of the I-20 process for financial recommendations and requirements. So you can see that when you have some time. And lastly, what you need to expect from the onset is that 1 year timeline that we have the funding here showcased for the 92,360 must be showcased on the bank statement, or it can be multiple bank statements, but has to be showcased in some form when the form is being submitted for the I-20 request. So please keep that in mind prior to beginning the I-20 request itself. Next slide, please. Fantastic. Yes, so expectations. So after you submit the I-20 request, everything is sent to our office at Office of Global Services for review and for processing. We actually, for Global Scholars, we cannot actually process your I-20 until you have completed your current final term. So if you're studying in the in the spring this term, or opting to do summer for summer 1 or summer 2, we would only be able to act upon issuing you that new updated I-20 after you have completed that specific term, which is considered your final term in your program. So just keep that in mind in terms of your planning. I'll talk more about travel in a future slide, just to make sure you're aware about how that can interact with travel. but that's something that you would keep in mind when you are considering when you would get your new I-20. For London Scholars, because this will be the first time entering, we do have some energy to process sooner. We're able to do that. So as of right now, we're beginning processing actually this month for anyone for London Scholars to apply for a new I-20 and process it so that you have enough time to apply for an F1 visa, either for summer 2, if that is your option, or for this fall, if that is the ultimate goal for your entry into the US. Okay, so yeah, so international travel, and this is kind of one I'll spend a little bit of time on because I know this is a question that has come up quite a bit. But really, after your program, many of you may be considering traveling during the summer or traveling sometime during your summer studies. And I want to make sure it's very clear as to what to expect when that is happening. For Global Scholar students who currently already have an F1 visa and an I-20, there are kind of two things to consider here. One would be your time of projected travel. So if you're traveling during the term itself that you're studying, so say this term, if you're traveling soon, or if you're traveling during the summer when you're studying on ground during the summer, you would need something called a travel signature from our office to verify that you are enrolled appropriately for the term of your study, as well as kind of flagging the timeline of your travels so that there's not much disruption in your travel if you are actively studying, to make sure that is covered. If you are in a case where you are traveling after your program ends, so say you are ending your program in the spring and you want to travel back to the US at some point during the summer, and you're not going to study until the fall, this is fine as well too. But the current I-20 you have now actually would expire during that window. So you would need your new I-20, the one I mentioned on a previous slide for your change of degree level I-20 in hand prior to returning to the US if you are planning that journey during the summer. Two things I'll highlight here in terms of other additional considerations is the entries showcased on your visa. That really means how many times you're able to enter the US on that current visa itself. It might have a single number, it might have M, which stands for multiple, and that would be a factor to determine when you are traveling. So please keep that in mind when you're seeing these things or planning out your timeline, that these factors may either assist or may change your plans for travel. Likewise, for London Scholars, since this is your first time in the US, there is a very strict timeline of once your I-20 is issued and you have an F1 visa in hand, you're able to enter the US up to 30 days before that term start date. So if you're coming in for summer too, as an option, you could come 30 days before that starts, or more likely for the fall. If you're coming in for the fall, you can come 30 days before that start date as well too. So keep those two timelines in mind. We have links here to kind of assist you with that expectation and some more nuances as to what to expect if you are traveling. So please check out these links when you do have some time. But at the end of that whole process, when you are transitioning into your new program, there is a process called the immigration clearance, where you will be going forward to confirm that you will be studying in this new program for your degree-seeking program as of this fall and continuing onward from there. So you'll learn more about that as the term comes closer. Usually about a month or so prior to your term start, you'll get emails around that. So don't worry about that now. You won't receive that information just yet, but you will hear that soon in the next few months about that process itself. Okay, so I have a couple of things here that I wanted to talk about because these were frequently asked questions during this timeline about specifically about your I-20 processes as well as employment options. I wanted to highlight that here as well. Firstly, how often will I need to adjust my I-20 after this step? And I understand many of you may have updated I-20 a couple of times already since you began your program this fall. So I want to make sure that you are aware of this new I-20 that you would receive will be an I-20 that covers you for the remainder of your bachelor's program. So this should be a multi-year I-20 that you're receiving, and you in theory are fine to have that I-20 for the entirety of your program. However, if changes do happen that require an adjustment, a new I-20 would be needed. So a few of these examples would be if there's a change in your current I-20 information. So say you change your name or changing funding or you change your major. These are three very common scenarios that needs a new I-20 to showcase these updates. But also if you have a change in your actual plan while you're here actively studying. So if you want to travel and need a travel signature. That's one example. If you're going for an internship or a co-op in the future, you would have to get authorization from our office to do that opportunity. So that's one thing that might come up. If you're doing a leave in the future or taking a break from your studies, this will also be a situation where you would need to have an updated I-20, or if you want to do something like a study abroad during your program. These are all kind of some factors that are adjusting your actual study plan from as of right now, and we need an update on your I-20 to correspond with that actual action. We have updates, e-forms, I should say, in terms of what you can see and what would need an action from that link over here. So just keep that in mind for any future plans you're thinking about in terms of your timeline with Northeastern here. Another big question is tied to employment that comes up quite often in terms of when can I do my first timeline for employment. As of now, the earliest possible time after you get a new I-20, because you're transitioning to a bachelor's program at that point, would be on-campus employment, which is the first term of your actual study in the fall. So if you want to do on-campus employment, that is totally fine, acceptable. You may need to apply for a SSN, and we've detailed about that on the on-campus link here, so check that out if you have concerns or questions about that. Likewise, if you're considering for an internship or a co-op, the first time you would be immigration-wise approved to do that would be summer of next year. The main reasoning is because of right now, timelines tied to your bachelor's program starting in the fall is the beginning of the timeline that may be counted for something called CPT, or curricular practical training. So you need to study for at least 2 semesters worth to qualify for CPT. So fall and spring of next year would be the 2 major factors to count for that timeline. So that'll be the earliest possible time on our end. However, your program may have specific criteria as when they expect you to go out on co-op. So just keep that in mind when you're considering future options for employment. Next slide, please. And yes, that's kind of it on my end. I want to keep it short and sweet here, but just a resource page ultimately in terms of how to contact us at OGS. We do have our main website here, international.northeastern.edu/OGS, about all our information, resources, e-forms, videos, all of the above is captured there. And if you have a specific question for us, we do have our inquiry form where you can submit a question to us there directly in terms of what you're considering, what you're concerned about, and we're happy to address anything either for a transition or otherwise through the inquiry form. So thanks for your time today, and yeah, we're happy to see this new transition happening for all of you. Thanks again.
Thanks, Jasgard. Awesome. Okay. Well, we're going to move on to our final session, which will have our colleague Lisa Commendatore, Senior Director for the Student Orientation and Family Programs Office. But Lisa will be talking about Husky 101 orientation. And we just want to let folks know on the call, this is for any student who has not been to the NU Boston campus yet. So we do know that some Global Scholar students started in Boston in the fall. You all have participated in Husky 101 orientation already. And so you can feel free to leave should you not want to hang on for this session. And then any student who's currently in Boston for the Global Scholars Program, you have also went through the Husky 101 orientation in January. So similar, you are also free to leave should you want to. But anyone else that will be new to Boston, this is for you. So I'll turn it over to Lisa.
Okay, thank you so much, Shannon. Actually, you can go to the next slide. Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Commendatore, as Dr. Pittman mentioned. I'm the Senior Director of Student Orientation and Family Programs. And like all campus partners, we're looking forward to welcoming you all to the Boston community. Our team is currently designing a transition experience that is unique to the Global Network programs, and it's through our Husky 101 Boston Orientation and Welcome Week. We'll connect you with essential resources, programs, and platforms that will continue supporting your Northeastern experience throughout your career here. As just mentioned again, any Global Scholar student who studied on the Boston campus fall 2023 or spring of 2024 is exempt from attending Husky 101 orientation, since students and families participated in the transition experience. Next slide. So Husky 101 Boston Orientation is a mandatory student experience that will provide you the right tools for a successful transition. It will begin with our Husky 101 online curriculum, and it's followed by our on-campus orientation program. Shortly, I'll provide more details about each, but first I'd like to review with you a timeline of what to expect and when to expect it. Next slide. So this timeline that you're looking at right now, it's just a quick snapshot of the resources and what your transition experience will look like over the next several months. And I'll go month by month in the coming slides. Next. Yesterday, all of you on Tuesday should have received our first volume of Husky 101, Volume 1, Husky Happenings. Our office sent the first communication to all of the Global Network students who are joining us in Boston for the first time. And the subject title on the Husky Happenings was Orientation Registration. Our Husky Happenings e-newsletter is how we'll stay connected to you and your family. We'll keep you informed on critical information and the next steps, all of which will be helpful to the student and family transition. Husky Happenings is a bi-monthly email communication that is sent to both students and families. So be sure to look for your emails that say Husky Happenings in the subject line. Please read them, and that's the way that you will stay informed. Next. In June, we'll kick off our mandatory online curriculum, and you'll have several weeks to complete it. Completion is mandatory for students, and we highly encourage families to take part in their curriculum as well. The curriculum is very personalized experience. It's designed to introduce students and families to the campus resources and services that will assist and support you throughout your Northeastern career. As you can see, some of the topics on this slide, we have the personalized pathways, community life, health and wellness. And if you go to our next slide, our curriculum will also cover all of these critical themes. And so student engagement and involvement, experiential learning, campus resources, and services. These will stay in your Canvas for the complete year, first year that you're on the Boston campus. And so it really serves as a great resource that you can frequently visit whenever you want information on those different areas. Next slide. And so then the other mandatory component to your Boston orientation is an on-campus experience. It's mandatory for all students who are joining the Boston campus this fall. A family orientation will run concurrently to the student orientation. Participation is optional for families, but again, highly encouraged. It's a great way to keep your family members informed as well. Some of you may have visited the Boston campus last July for Global Scholars Visit Day, but that wasn't the Husky 101 orientation. And so because we get that frequently asked of us, just wanted to clarify that Boston orientation is very different than what you experienced on campus last summer. As you may have already seen, orientation registration for students and family members. Actually, I'm going to ask you to go back one slide. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I took a breather. As you saw probably in your email yesterday, the registration takes place in the application status check. So most of you will have the option to select either July 18th or September 2nd. but international students living abroad will only see the September date that coincides with fall move-in, and so that's September 2nd. But if you're an international student and you are in the States during the summer, if you would like to attend that July session, please be in contact with our office and we'll happily register you to attend in July. But again, international students will only see the September 2nd date. Boston Orientation is a one-day program, not requiring an overnight. But if you attend July 18th, there will be an early arrival option for students. So by selecting the early arrival option, students will be placed in complimentary housing that includes bed linens and towels. Family members will need to make other arrangements as they're staying in area hotels or with friends. And for the families that are unable to join us in person, presentations will be sent via email in the summer. Boston Orientation is complimentary to both the students and to guests, so no costs are associated with meals, social activities, on-campus parking. Once you're on campus, everything is at no cost. Next slide. During your on-campus experience, both students and families will meet with faculty, their colleges, staff, and students who will assist and support you through the Boston experience. Our programming is very intentional, providing students with the tools and resources that will position them for success. Orientation will also be the launching pad for students to meet their new classmates and friends, and for family members to network with one another. Next. And then in September, at the time of fall move-in, whether you're living on campus or off campus, students will be immersed in Welcome Week. We'll host a myriad of opportunities for students to become acclimated to campus resources in Boston. Students will be invited to participate in over 200 activities that are hosted by campus partners and student clubs and organizations that will include academic, cultural, athletic, and social events, with lots of Boston excursions planned in between. Truly, there is something for everyone. And, you know, we really believe at Northeastern an engaged student is a successful student. And so we really encourage you to take advantage of everything once you move on campus in September. Next slide. And this really concludes the Husky 101 Boston Orientation Overview. Just a reminder to look forward to receiving your Husky Happening emails. I can't stress that enough. They'll also always be posted on our website. Keeping on top of this information will be critical to you and your family's transition. It will keep you informed and on task with everything that needs to be accomplished over summer. And there is our website, our email, call, email. If you have any questions, we can answer for you. And or if you have a personal situation that you'd like to bring to our attention, again, just give us a call or email, and we will respond within 24 hours unless it's over the weekend. So again, we welcome you to the Boston community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you, all of our presenters, for their information today. Very, very helpful. And thank you all for showing up. So many of you stayed engaged. So hopefully this was helpful to you as you're preparing for your transition to Boston. Again, we look forward to seeing some of you this summer. We're going to share some information from our global network team to the folks who will be here for summer classes. We're going to have maybe some social activities and welcome. So please look out for that. But for regarding this, please do take this information, share with your families if they were not here. Again, they will get an email as well next week as we share information with families as well. But we will send this recording and the PowerPoint so that folks have access to the links, particularly for our folks who need the OGS information. That will be all forthcoming by the end of this week, early next week. So please do look out for that. Otherwise, congratulations on completing your first year as a Global Scholar and as a London Scholar. And again, we're so excited for you to be able to move through the Boston campus and continue your studies at Northeastern. We, as always, feel free to reach out if any questions to all of your contacts. But otherwise, enjoy your summer and we will see you all soon.